Welcome back to this Let's Play of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2. Last time we picked up a quest that had been cut from the original game and had some conversations with HK47, and we're going to have one more. I'm going to sort of breeze through it quickly. It's just some quick influence. I also gained a level last time, and so I now have a 20 skill in repair, which means I can start breaking items down with impunity and actually having a lot of fun with the workbench, because essentially anything I build I can just break that right back down at no cost and, just customize away as needed. And I'm really only held back by the skills of my characters. I also picked up a couple ranks of the treat injury skill, as Kreia suggested in her little lesson about weakest skill. You don't actually have to put points in the skill. You can just equip an item that gives you a bonus, but I'm going to need a little bit of treat injury skill for a quest, an interaction coming up, and frankly, just a little more computer use is not something I'm all that worried about long term. Let's talk to HK47.
Query.
And, just the usual stuff. We can ask about the other HK units that we already know about from talking about the sonic imprint sensor. We can ask why they're masquerading as protocol droids.
Answer. Master. As this usual...
Yeah. So, more or less, he functions as C-3PO, except he's not nearly as good at it, and he has substantially more violent tendencies, as opposed to 3POs. Well, anyway.
And so far, that is...
And, so you can ask about, but why would you have an assassin masquerading as a protocol droid?
Answer. Master, being a meatbag, your answer does not surprise me. You see, part of the reason an assassin droid is so effective is because it is a droid. Meatbags tend not to notice us. We are treated as furnishings. Statement. Oh, do shut up, you beeping little trash compactor. Anyway, as I was saying, droids tend to blend into the background, like a bench or a card table. Mockery. Droid, fetch this. Droid, translate that. Droid, clean out the trash compactor.
Now this line here, those are typical droid duties, but it doesn't mean they should be treated as furniture. It gets you some influence with T3M4.
Part of the love of my function comes when the furnishings pull out Tabana-powered rifles and point them at the owner's heads. My identity as an assassin droid was unknown for quite some time, even during the recent events when all that trouble occurred amongst the Jedi. I'm sure you've already heard more than enough about it, so I will spare you the details.
Okay, and we won't ask about it. But I'm just gaining a little more influence with T3M4. I may not actually need it. I'm going to reset my party here. In the interest of having fun with this playthrough, I'm going to do some clearly dark side things that are out of character just to gain influence with HK47 so we can get to a little more of his dialogue. Yeah, this is going to involve just some random killing people. I'll indicate places where I'm sort of stepping out of character. None of them really involve quests that affect the outcome of the story. So, I'll meet you at the docks. We're back here at the flop house where we picked up the tip on how to get past the Cath Hounds. So, we'll finish looting this area entirely later, but there's one group here. And you'll notice I have no one but HK47 in my party. There are a couple of your other party members that will react to this, and essentially I want to make sure HK47 is the one who gets the influence modification. And, these guys are looking for their captain, and we're just going to, quite out of character, slaughter them. And the Lunar Shadow. They're actually involved in two other quests, which we can't complete now. But neither of those quests are
Master, there are times when your actions make my behavior core glow.
Okay. Now, interestingly enough, I guess since they're, rough and tumble sailors looking for a fight or something, you don't actually get any dark side points for that, but you do actually get influence with HK47. And, I don't really want to get more dark side points than absolutely necessary, so I will kind of avoid doing things just for the sake of getting influence with HK47. But there are a couple I'm going to have to do. just because otherwise you can't get to the good dialogue options with him. If you want the real irony in this, all these murders are giving me influence with HK-47, and actually it's making him more light side, because I'm gaining influence with him and I'm light side and he's dark side. So, if that's not strange, I don't know what is. But yeah, in fact, I am converting him to the light side by doing dark side actions. Don't think on it too hard. Anyway, this guy is also just, going to actually give me dark side points, but, die for the cause.
That was wonderful, Master. Next time, may I try?
Anyway, nothing real important there. When we get back on the Ebon Hawk, though, there's a character banter here which is worth listening to.
Statement. My memory core has suffered some damage. Statement. Yet somehow, a gap in my circuits makes me feel as if I should remember you. Statement. This is all the more important since during my routine inspection of all potential escape routes from this vessel, I made an interesting discovery. Observation. The navicomputer is voice-locked. As a consequence, you are now responsible for course corrections and astrogation. Statement. That is indeed a great burden. It also raises many questions. Query. Why would someone lock the navicomputer? Answer. Presumably to hide where one has been. Statement. I believe you've been somewhere. Somewhere you wish to keep hidden.
Yeah, T3M4 is a little more involved in the plot than just being a trash compactor. And a swear machine. But, anyway, back to Telos. You may not remember this place, but this is the exchange base on Telos. And the secretary is still here.
Please don't kill me. I'm only doing my job.
Her dialogue has not changed, but, well, sorry, you're not important for the plot. And
observation. You display a fascinating variety of cruelties, Master. It is difficult to catalog them all.
yeah, and there's some more HK-47 influence. Hopefully I won't have to do too many more of those just sort of gratuitous slaughter, but I will indicate it when I'm going out of character to do so, just because, well, I want to include some of that other dialogue in the LP. One last conversation with HK-47 before we end this episode of slightly out of character interactions.
Query. Is there someone that you need killed, Master? Statement. More questions. Wonderful.
And we could ask about his previous master.
Statement. Master, that is a question that has an extremely complicated answer. You see, I do not believe my master knew who he was most of the time, which led to some confusing situations that could have otherwise been avoided.
More or less the entire point of this conversation is to make fun of the plot of Knights of the Old Republic 1, or at least little playful jobs. And so the not sure who he was, well, if you've ever played the first game, you know exactly what he's talking about.
Clarification. Suffice to say that my master had his ups and downs, and, in my opinion, traveled from a high point in his life to a low point, and then back again to his true potential. He could be a merciless, efficient killer when the need arose. It really made my behavior core glow. And even as a meatbag, my master still had some remarkably efficient droid-like qualities which I admired. He, too, suffered memory problems, as I did. Statement. Oh, yes, Master. As indicated upon my reassembly, my central control cluster is damaged, making recalling my previously stored assassination protocols difficult. I hope that over time I shall eventually reach the status and skill I possessed before I was damaged. Recollection. The last thing I remember is having my core wiped from the last 5 years. I believe my master was responsible. Answer. Even with my memory impairment, I recall that my master was about to embark on a dangerous journey. Conjecture. I believe there was something about my master's destination that he did not wish me to know. Answer. I am somewhat disappointed that my master did not choose to take me along, of course. Wherever my master traveled, destruction and death were assured. Speculation, but I suspect I was not the only one left behind. So there is some satisfaction that the disrespect was spread through the rest of his whiny, simpering meatbag allies.
This is one of the better lines in the game, just from humor value, but whiny?
Statement. Oh yes, my master had quite the collection of tortured individuals that seemed unable to confront their basic personality conflicts. Let me cite some specific examples. Mockery.
Oh, Master! I do not trust you! I cannot trust you or anyone ever again!
Mockery.
Oh, Master, I love you, but I hate all you stand for. But I think we should go press our slimy, mucus-covered lips together in the cargo hold.
Conclusion. Such pheromone-driven human responses never cease to decrease the charge in my capacitors, and make me wish I could press a blaster pistol to my behavior core and pull the trigger. I am pleased that this does not seem to be the case with your current entourage.
And I love this response. Maybe you should turn your photoreceptors up a little more and pay more attention, because the recurred party is just as crazy.
Statement. Yes, well, enough of that painful stroll through what remains of my memories. Was there something else you wish to know? Statement. Master, before you go, I had a question for you.
This is one of the few times you can actually get influence from HK-47 by dialogue, and it's more or less just tell him to shut up.
Statement. Yes, Master. I must confess, I enjoy it when you are so authoritative and dismissive toward me. It bodes well for your treatment of our enemies.
Alright, more dark side points, more influence, but now if you look at HK-47, he's quite definitively light side. There's something wrong with that.